All right, thanks AJ for the message. We're back. It's just John and Chad now, just chilling, just killing it. Um, should we
Continues to do
start?
this thing where he just big leagues us now. He
Yeah,
shows up when he wants, he records when he wants, he talks to us when he wants. He's just running around doing stuff like you got to be kidding me.
he has
We got
no
to talk.
dedication anymore.
I mean,
I
first,
wonder if it's a girl. I wonder if it's a girl.
you think it's been a cop out this whole time?
I honestly think he may be in that mode where he's obsessed with a girl, maybe has a secret girlfriend, and he doesn't know how else to get out of it. I was there at one point. So he's just like, oh, I got a comedy show I got to go to, and realize he's all the way on his way over to Felicia's house right now to do the do. So, so the Dolphins.
Wow. The Miami Dolphins have proven that anything is possible. Anything is possible. You hate your life, you hate your job. Well, guess what? Anything can happen. The Miami Dolphins won a game. It's unbelievable. Things can turn around like that. I think now we got to look at the Jets and be like, one of the worst teams we've ever seen. They're a
Uh,
joke.
yeah, and I honestly, a conversation I was having with my father, the Dolphins roster is arguably the least talented roster in football history. And I think the coaching staff has done a great job. Because honestly, listen, they could have beat Washington, they could have beat Pittsburgh, and they hung around with Buffalo. Like they could have 3 or 4 wins right now. And they play Indy this week without Brissett, and they still play the Jets again, the Bills again. Like this, I wouldn't be surprised if the Dolphins finish the year with 3 or 4 wins.
I am just hoping they don't have more than four because I have under 4.5. Well, so they've certainly been trending up. They literally you are the backup running back right now. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
And their starter is Kalen Balaj, and he's like just a toad out there running around. I think he's averaged like 2.6 a carry. That's
Yeah.
abysmal for your starter.
Yeah, that's
So
bad.
they have no talent at all. You've got to hope. And Fitzpatrick's always good for like 2 or 3 miracle wins every year, but that's literally it. And then the rest of the season looks like dog do. So I think they're a 2-14 team. I think they'll only get one more max.
Do you think 2-14 gets them the first overall pick? I don't think it does.
I don't. I think the Bengals, and I think that second win is going to be against Cincinnati. Uh, I might be week 16 or 17. I think the Bengals will have the number one pick though.
Okay. Interesting. What are their takeaways? So, team we always talk about every week. It's a seventh rounders favorite at this point. The Packers decide not to show up this week. You're not taking much away from that game, correct?
I put no weight in that game whatsoever. Every team's going to have a clunker. That was almost, we discussed, me and Connor saw the line at -3 early in the week. We said we're going to lock this in right now. That was a fishy line. We should have sniffed it out. Uh, Eyes got too big. Just a classic clunker. I mean, the Chargers defensively have been talented. They have been banged up, missing guys throughout the entire season. They played a very easily their best defensive game of the year, and ran the ball well. That really Green Bay rush defense has been exposed completely. They are now going to face the Carolina Panthers at home next week. McCaffrey might really damage that defense. Marzullo is extremely concerned. He is very worried. That's all I've heard about all week is him complaining about the Packers before the game's even happened. That's all I hear about.
Really?
Yeah.
I see. I'm just not. I'm off the Kyle Allen bandwagon at this point.
No, yeah. I'm not completely off it. I said I was off it. He's just not going to get them to that next step. He's good game manager, but I don't know if he's got that big play ability in him to close out like a tight game this week. Let's say it's 23-20 and he's got to go down the field. I don't know what happens. I don't know if he can do it.
It's very questionable. Very, very questionable. Um,
It's a good thing he's got the MVP in the backfield with him of the NFL this year.
and dude, they got to start utilizing Curtis Samuel more.
Yeah. Samuel and Moore have been very solid. They definitely need to get more opportunities. Part of the reason, honestly, is because they just keep feeding McCaffrey, which they need to lighten the workload a little bit, I'd say. But
He
I
could get
mean,
hurt. Yeah, that's
yeah.
definitely a concern. John, I'm gonna switch it up right in the middle of NFL, and we're gonna go 16 questions. I've got a name in mind.
All right.
You
And
get
Connor has
16 questions.
forfeited the
Yes.
rule. The rule is written in the bylaws. If you miss more than one episode, and this would be 1.5 for Connor now in a 5-week span, you're immediately disqualified. You cede your turn. So this is only Chad or I can win this week.
Yes. This is a big one. Let me just pull up this bio quickly, just because there's a couple things I need to.
And Chad, are you aware of the score?
Uh, don't you have like 7?
I have 8, sir.
You have 8.
You guys have 4.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. 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 Okay. All right. I've got my guy. I'm ready to go.
All right. And now it's a little different. I'm asking every question.
Yes.
So I don't have to deal with Connor's bullshit questions.
Yeah.
This is fun. Is it a male?
Yes.
Is it a current athlete?
No.
Okay. Is it a current broadcaster?
No.
Team personnel?
Yes. That's 4.
Is it a head coach?
Yes. That's 5.
See, that's one right there. You got to take a stab at something.
I'm surprised you went team personnel before coach. That was an interesting way to go about it.
Yeah.
You're at 5.
I know. Is it a college coach?
Yes.
I feel like I could have worded that question better. Is he currently coaching in the SEC?
Yes. That's 7.
I'm feeling real good. I'm feeling real good. I'm just going to start guessing, I think.
All right.
Actually, is he in the SEC West?
No.
Okay. That's 8.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I got 8 left.
Yeah.
Is it Kirby Smart?
No.
Is it Derek Mason?
No. You're good. That's 10.
Is it a head coach?
Yes.
I didn't ask that yet, right?
You didn't. You're at 11.
James? No, what's his name? Pruitt, the Tennessee coach?
No.
Is it Muschamp?
Nope. That's 13.
Who's left? Oh, is it Dan Mullen?
No. That's 14.
What teams are left?
You did not go about this very well. Folks, let me just remind you, he started out asking if it was a current player. I said no. He said, is it a team person? And I said yes. He said, is it a head coach? I said yes.
We've also determined he's in the SEC East.
Yes.
I have 2 guesses left.
Yeah. We determined he's in the SEC East and that he's a coach.
I said head coach, too.
Yeah. We've determined he's in the SEC East and he's a head coach. And that's literally it.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Because there's a big disconnect that you're going to kick yourself because you have not realized.
Interesting. Very interesting what you're doing to me right now. Is it Stoops, the Kentucky coach?
No. One guess left.
So I'm completely off. My method is completely wrong.
Yes.
So now for my last guess, I have to yank something out of my behind.
You didn't filter it correctly. You left it very open-ended by only saying a sports coach.
Oh, wow. That's a real bummer. That is a real bummer. I thought I never said football.
No.
That's a super, super bummer. Is it John Calipari?
No. It is Frank Martin.
No. Damn, dude. That's real. That's well done.
Thank you.
You took advantage of me right there. I might have to call 911.
I know if Connor was there, he probably would have caught on to that. So maybe we could say it hurt not having Connor
You
for this
you
sec.
you skunk. You absolutely used against me the fact that I said I don't pay attention to college basketball until middle of December. You're a
Yes,
bastard. You're a
I,
bastard.
you could make the case that I am a bastard. But
Reverse. Listen,
I I was gonna do a South Carolina basketball player, but I
I
took
can't
into
even name one.
kinder Seventh Woods.
Oh yeah, he's there now. He just transferred in. Good for him. Um, I mean, what do you think, reverse, about the Cleveland Browns being a complete dumpster fire? How's
Did,
Kitchen still employed?
didn't I tell you guys for free that I actually, in all honesty, I was more of a Baker hater, but I thought Cleveland would be better than they are. Um, I honestly don't know why they're that bad. Is it just because too many different personalities? That's like the only thing I can think of.
It looks like Freddie has never even read a playbook before. He does not know what he's doing schematically. Absolutely no clue. Odell Beckham looks like he is never involved with the play. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Their third down play calling is some of the worst thing I have ever seen in my life. They are running the ball when it's like stacking the box. There are no audibles. Nothing happens at the line of scrimmage. They have no idea what they're doing. Freddie Kitchens is completely over his head. He's useless out there. I
Do you think
really think if they want that, they need to be going after someone with some charisma, dude. I've never seen Freddie do any no emotions of any kind. I don't think he gets excited. It's
I've got a
miserable to
fit?
watch.
I've got a fit. Why don't they go and grab Lincoln Riley?
Wow. I do not hate it at all.
Reunites Baker with Lincoln. Gets that offense with Lincoln Riley would be one of probably the 3 or 4 most efficient offenses in the NFL starting next year. Imagine what Lincoln can do with Odell and Juice. That's been look what CeeDee Lamb's doing for Oklahoma this year. Whew. Imagine Odell with Lincoln as his coach. If
I
I'm the
mean,
Browns, I would go offer him a 4-year, $45 million contract.
I love everything you just said. I'm ready to. I'm completely on board with that.
Should
I
we
love that idea.
start? Should we get it trending like a Lincoln to
Let's
Cleveland?
start a let's start a GoFundMe,
Okay.
and secretly the money will go to our gambling debts. So, I just said it on air. Bleep that out. Bleep that one out.
Yeah. Reverse. I agree with that.
One more thing. One more big game. We can't breeze by this. Baltimore took a dump on New England's chest this weekend. It was something that we all love to see. In the grand scheme of things, New England, I don't know if that's a concerning loss. Baltimore's a solid team. I think I called this too, and I believe I like Baltimore in this spot. This was a very good matchup for them.
Yes, you did. Do you remember what our locks of the week were? Because I have no idea. No, I don't. Do you?
Mine was Jacksonville and London. That was a dumpster fire.
Mine was Arizona,
Good call.
but I may have said. So don't quote me on what I said about Arizona. Honestly, so I'm going to pose a question to you. I'll let you think about it. I'll answer first. Did this game between Baltimore and New England, did it say more about Baltimore or did it say more about New England? And for me, I would say this, what's the word? This showcased a major flaw for New England that I refused to see the first half of the season because I thought they would be good in this area, and that's the run game. I actually really hate New England's run game so far this year, and I think Brady's at an age where, although still amazing, the reason they were legit last year was because Sony Michel went off, and they could rely just ground and pound and open it up for Brady. And they have not had a ton of success running the ball. And people can quote me if I'm wrong, but like Sony Michel, I don't think he's had a 100-yard rushing game. This past week, they only ran the ball 18 total times against Baltimore, and James White was their leading ball carrier with 9 carries.
No, I agree completely. I have James White and Sony Michel on several fantasy teams. A couple, I shouldn't say several, just a couple, but they have not done much this year. No, their run game is flawed. I would agree with that completely. And their defense, I mean, they couldn't stop the run. I will say Baltimore is wonderful on the ground. They are a phenomenal team
Yeah.
rushing the football. That's what makes them so dangerous and unique because there are not a lot of teams like them. They are very efficient through the air. Lamar Jackson has been solid. I mean, he hasn't turned it over much in terms of interceptions, and he's dangerous as ever on his feet. So they are a team you do not want to play Baltimore at all. And their defense has moments in this instance against New England where they were that elite Baltimore defense you think of, although they've had games this year where they have not looked very good. The Browns game comes to mind.
Yeah. I have a hot take from last week that I need to apologize for because it was a terrible take. I said last week on the air that I believe this New England defense was one of the best defenses we've seen in our lifetime, and they
Well, I mean,
proceed to let up
you're not the only one
37 to
that said that.
Baltimore. Okay, because then they proceed to let up 37 to Baltimore. Maybe an outlier of a game, but definitely not what you want to see after you talk up a defense like that.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're looking at it, and I hate saying this because I feel like like everyone this year more than ever, I feel like saying like they haven't played anybody. They have gone up against the Pittsburgh offense, the Miami offense, the Jets offense, the Buffalo Bills offense, the Redskins offense, the Giants, the Jets again, Cleveland. They hadn't really played. Those are all like teams probably in the bottom 10.
Yes.
The only team you could argue, maybe Pittsburgh is just outside of that, but everyone else there, even Buffalo, who's had a solid year, their offense is no reason why they've been that good. It's been
Is
completely the defense.
That's
So
why I'm saying I think that's why we may have mentioned it last week that we both believe Buffalo is going to fall off in a big way.
they will, they will. But I mean, this is easily by far the best team that New England has seen this year, and they look completely unprepared for it. So it's just going to be interesting to see how they respond. Philadelphia, Dallas the next couple of weeks, and then Houston, Kansas City. I mean, those are four tough matchups. So I'm very interested to see how they do.
All right, John, I've got a little segment. I'm going to kind of like the random number generator we've done for some college football lines. I'm going to scroll through my app with all the NFL scores for this week. I'm going to stick my finger on one game and you're going to have to give me a line prediction for it, all right?
Let's do it to it.
All right. First matchup up. The 3-4-1 Detroit Lions at the 3-5 Chicago Bears. Chicago is a 2.5-point favorite.
Detroit wins this game. I think the Bears are one of the worst teams in the NFL. Their offense is like. I honestly I'm struggling to think of a comparison. It is pathetic. It's like Bloomfield, dude. They are bad. Give me Detroit money line underdogs, especially if it is not at 3. If it's at that 2.5 and stays there, slam the hell out of Detroit's money line. Chicago sucks.
All right. Next one up for you. We'll keep going for a few. Aye, this one's frightening. The 2-7 New York Giants at the 1-7 New York Jets. The Giants are a 2.5-point favorite.
Yeah, once again, I'm sticking. I love that. I'm gonna take the Giants here. They played Dallas very tough this week, whereas the Jets lost the Miami Dolphins and looked completely inept in all phases of the game. I think Danny Dimes has an absolutely monstrous performance against the pitiful Jets secondary, and I will take the Giants by field goal at least.
All right. All right. This next one is going to be from me. We have this one's interesting. It is the 6-2 Buffalo Bills on the road at the 2-6 Cleveland Browns. Cleveland is a 2.5-point favorite.
I cannot believe that Cleveland is favored. I have them at 3.
John,
That is quite honestly unbelievable.
this is where I think Vegas knows more than us, and I'm
Yep.
going to go Cleveland -3, -2.5, whatever.
I like that, and I'm with you. I think I honestly probably won't touch this game. I might. We'll see. Things can change between now and then. I like Cleveland to finally win a game. It will not save Freddie Kitchens, I don't think, because I don't think they'll be very good after. But this is a game you think Buffalo Bills year in, year out. This will be a disappointing loss for them. I'm on Cleveland.
Okay. Do you have all the NFL lines pulled up right now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Next one. Here we go. You have the Rams at 5-3 on the road at Pittsburgh 4-4. The Rams are a 3.5 point favorite.
It's a tricky one. Pittsburgh is trending up. There's no doubt about it. At home at plus 3.5. Unlike you, I know you love the Rams. I do not love the Rams.
I'm becoming more and more concerned every week, I will say.
And really, with how strong the Pittsburgh defensive front is at getting after the passer, and how unimpressive Jared Goff is when it comes to pressure, I
Yeah.
like Pittsburgh with the points if it stays at like that 3.5, 4 range. I'll take that at home.
I I agree with you, and I have a major concern with the Rams offensive line. I think for whatever reason, I don't know if the personnel has changed from last year to this year, but there's just a disconnect there. A, they can't run the ball, and B, Goff has looked way worse. So that's gotta be the O line. That's the only
Yeah.
thing I could think of. It's not like they changed head coaches or anything. But I kind of like Pittsburgh plus 3.5.
Perfect. You want to do one more? It's you.
All right, here we go. Let's go right here. Oh, I got a dandy. 3-5, 3-5-1 Arizona Cardinals at the 2-6 Tampa Bay Bucks.
That is a dandy.
That is an absolute dandy. Tampa Bay is a 4 point favorite. I kind of like Arizona money line here. I've bet on Arizona I think every week since week 1, and I think I'm up a little bit, so I'm just gonna keep it rolling. And I'm gonna go Arizona money
I'm
line.
with you. I love betting on the Arizona Cardinals. Whether they do well or do poorly, they're a very fun team to watch. So I'm naturally going to be drawn to them. I like them on the money line. I think Tampa Bay continues to, as long as Jameis is at quarterback, they're not going to go anywhere, despite the fact they have a really good coaching staff in place. They need a new quarterback more than anything.
Yeah, the Cardinals are that team where if you bet on them and they shit the bet, it's like, well, it's the Cardinals, it should happen, or it's like they win a game outright or something, and it's like I told you guys they're on the come up. Like I feel like we're in
Yeah,
a win-win situation with Arizona.
yeah, for sure. This is honestly looking at the slate. It's one of the better slates we've had this year. I'm really intrigued. I think really it's the later half. Like if you look at the late games, the
Yeah,
LA Pittsburgh game is an intriguing one for sure. Carolina Green Bay is a fantastic game.
Miami
Uh,
Indy's a big one.
Miami Indy is wonderful as well. Minnesota Dallas is turned into a really nice game, and then Seattle San Francisco, another excellent one. So you look at every 4 p.m. and then the two night games.
Yeah.
Very good set of 5 right there,
Well,
especially including that Dolphins game.
yeah. So I am honestly like I've never bet on Dallas, but I kind of like Dallas at home this week. Just give a quick thoughts on the two primetime games. I'm not a fan of Minnesota on the road, being completely honest. That scares me. I kind of like Dallas at home in the Sunday night slot. Then Monday night, I think I like San Francisco -6. I think they're head and shoulders above everyone else right now.
Stat of the day: I am 0-6. I believe betting on Kansas City Chiefs games this year, no matter what the result is. I can't peg those ones. So last week, naturally, I took Minnesota after betting against them the previous 2 weeks, thinking it was going to be Kirk Cousins' fallout game. It came this week. They lose on the road. And actually, I remember on the podcast, too, saying that I like Kansas City in the spot. Didn't listen to myself. Decided to take Cousins for the first time. I don't know why. It gets burned there. So I will not bet on them this week. I like Dallas with you. I think they win this one at home. And then I also like Carolina to cover the spread at Lambeau. I don't know if they win this game, but I think McCaffrey is going to absolutely torch that defense.
Okay. So what is your? I guess we should just quickly give our locks of the week before we wrap up.
Yeah. I also wanted, before doing that, I wanted to, I also believe, actually, I think Seattle covers the spread. I think it's going to be a close game, that Monday night game. I don't know who wins yet, but I think Seattle, if it's at 6, which it is now, I like them to cover that. They're a
Okay.
very strong team. Um, lock of the week. Do you have one in mind?
I have my absolutely do not sniff this game, do not bet it, and I also have my lock of the week. So my lock of the week is, in fact, the Dallas Cowboys -3 against the Minnesota Vikings, like the reasons I mentioned earlier. And my absolutely avoid, don't even watch the game is the Thursday night Oakland home against the Chargers. I have absolutely no idea what is going to take place for that game. The Chargers are currently favored by 1. I would avoid that at all costs.
That game is like a really cheap or pixelated adult film. That is what that game is. It's a do not watch. I'm with you completely.
Yeah.
I'm pretty undecided on the lock of the week here. I'm going mentally in several different directions, wrestling with myself internally and externally, literally, physically, mentally. And you really put me on the spot. However, I am going to go with it, and it kind of stings, and I'm kind of unsettled, but I'm really excited about it. Pittsburgh, if it's +4.
Okay.
Like if it's 3.5, I'm going to buy that hook. So assuming it sits in that range, Pittsburgh +4 at home against the Rams. That defensive front is going to be extremely disruptive in this one. It's going to make Goff uncomfortable.
Folks, I just like a little PSA. Keep in mind, John, I don't think he's won a bet in about a month. So just take all of his picks this week with a grain of salt. I am red hot.
No.
Absolutely red hot. I would not say necessarily football related, but NBA and NHL, I am red hot. So if you wanna, my hotness to rub off on you, just take a dabble in some of my picks.
Listen to this. If you're one of these types, the last 3 weeks have been terrible. There's been a common theme. Because the previous 2 weeks before that were beautiful. You know what I had those 2 weeks prior? I had a mustache. The mustache was then gone for 3 weeks. And it's been an absolute bloody nightmare. But it's back. And I feel better than ever.
Do you think? Interesting. So nothing else has changed?
Nothing else has changed.
See, I took it easy on, the alcohol consumption this weekend, and I think that really helped. I didn't get rash, when I'd be down like a bit of money and then just bet on literally every Pac-12 game starting after 9 p.m. Like that's usually what does me in.
Right.
For a given week. Just 3-beer Chad, like blacked out at that point, and it's like, oh, let me bet the under on every Pac-12 game there is the rest of the night. And wake up down like several $100s more. Like that's my go-to thing, and I'm just too emotional. At times.
We've all been there before. It happens. You make the transition into the spiked seltzers, dude. Drip a little White Claw, and then all of a sudden you're trying to figure out who Cal's playing tonight. So yeah, we've all seen it.
Then you wake up the next morning to lock in your picks for the 9:30 London game, and you realize you just can't afford to make any more picks for the day.
Yeah, we've all been there. I did want to make note of one thing. UFC 244, Nate Diaz, Jorge Masvidal. Masvidal is terrifying. He's dominant. I want to say I would pay, blank check to see him against Khabib. I think that would be a phenomenal fight. I don't even know if they're in the same weight class. I know they're close, if not. And then I would also like to say that the refs and doctors stopped that match way too early. Nate Diaz was fine. It was bullshit. I had Nate Diaz, so I'm pissed still about it. But Give the people Masvidal, Khabib. That's all we want.
All right. Well, with that, we sail off into the sunset. We will talk to you next. Update you on number 2 LSU, number 3 Alabama, and everything else that happened during this week. So good night.
Including Chad's endeavors with the female gender.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be a lot this weekend. Brace yourself. Get those rubbers ready. Good night.